Welcome to Clothing 101. So if your clothes look like this, but you want them to look like this, then I can help you. Okay, so first, obviously, just draw the person you're going to draw the clothes on. And as you can see here, clothes always are going to be hanging down, okay? Like, they're always flowing down. Like, even in these, you can see where it's going down. The other thing is that these don't cling to the figures they're around, right? Like on this arm, it's not clinging to the person's arm that's probably like here. It's more baggy and it's away from it, right? Like it's not going to be skin tight or right around their arm. You want it to, it'll show the figure, but it's not gonna like hug it. Okay, so the point of that was just kind of to explain to you how like fabric would fall on the body. So now we'll put it into action. So we'll see like the necklines here. The fabric would fall down, of course, but more on a curve because the body is curved. So it's not just going to be going straight down. It's going to be moving more like this, like around the curves of someone's body and stuff. And then you'd kind of take that down, like the chest and stuff. Because, like, if you'll see back up here, it curves like this. In areas like the armpits and the elbows. You want to add little folds and stuff because this is where it scrunches up. Like you'll see here, it scrunches up here. So you're going to have a lot more folds. I like to do kind of oval-like shapes like that. So you can also do triangles and then like smooth them out later. Like you can just kind of mess around with it. The other thing you want to focus on is a lot of people will leave it flat and like right against the skin, which is just not correct. Clothing is going to like bump up here. It's going to be lumpy. It's going to be bumpy, and this is actually a good way to set up where you want a lot of your folds to hang. So then another thing to focus on is a lot of people will like put way too many like bunches and folds, which I know I did do up here, but ignore that. I'll fix it later. So like when they're drawing this, they'll go like, which that's crazy. Like clothes don't actually look like that unless the sleeves are like rolled up like crazy and it's super oversized. It's just not gonna look like that. So areas like this, where there aren't any folds, it's just going to be like the torso where it's just a kind of a straight line, right? It's just going to go down into this area where it starts to fold again. And then here, if it's like a really loose sleeve, it'll probably go a lot lower than the elbow. But like if it's not, it probably won't. Now that you've done that, you kind of just have a shirt. Like, I mean, obviously I do this off camera, but you get the idea. This honestly has way too many folds, especially at the top. So like do less than this unless you want it to be a really thin material. Like thin materials are going to have a lot more folds than thicker materials. So now, this is the most important part, and that's the rendering. And for me, this definitely isn't for everyone. I actually take away my line art. Like if you look at this, there isn't any outline, right? So this is just like a sketch. I'm not going to keep this because it looks really ugly, obviously. But also, like I don't actually do line art, kind of because I'm one of those people that's like chicken scratch. Like I cannot get my hand to stay like straight while I'm drawing, so I actually will completely get rid of line art. This is just kind of like an example for me to know where I want some of my folds to be. So of course you're just gonna start with like your base color. So it'll probably help you out to lay out some colors you want to use when you're rendering. To be honest though, I don't really do this. I'll use like black for the shadow, and then I'll just like pick one of the colors from the canvas that's in between black and blue, and then use that for all my other colors, and then I'll get a lighter color. Like I don't really lay out colors like this, but it might help you. So then I just go in with like the color of my shadow, and I turn down the opacity of the sketch, and then I just kind of go in where I want shadows. Okay, so this is kind of what it's gonna look like after you just put like your base shadows down where you want them. And I know what you're thinking, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen, and you're right, it looks really, really bad. Well, that's the thing with clothes, is they're gonna look really, really terrible until they start looking good. Like with this one, you kind of, it's gonna look really bad and really like over rendered and really soft for a really long time until like the very last couple steps. Then it starts kind of looking better and actually like clothes. So it's really like a trust the process thing. Okay, so then you keep adding shadows and it still looks a little like messy, but then you want to kind of go in with a smaller brush size and sharpen up some edges, right? Because this is still fabric. Like it is still gonna have sharper edges in places. like here, you'll see these, you still want to define these edges. Okay, so this definitely isn't my best work, but it kind of gets the idea across. Then, what you want to do is go in with highlights, right? So, this kind of stuff, like the lighter color, and you want to just add it in small spots, like to kind of define where the clothes are poking out, like where the high points in the folds are. Okay, so the highlights, you just add them in some spots, like here and here. They work to kind of make the folds look sharper and make it look more like a real item and not just like over rendered. So then what I like to do is add like stitches and stuff to make it look more realistic. Like that's always a good detail to add. It's like you'll see with this one how I have these stitches here. It just makes it look a little bit more like an actual shirt. So the way you want to do that is you take like your darker color or like your base color and draw like a stitch, like where you want the line of the stitch to be, and then take your lightest color and then put it like over it, like this. Okay, this color might not be light enough, but that, when it's on the shirt and kind of far away, will look like stitches or seams. And then once you do that, you're done. This is your shirt. Good luck with your clothing rendering. I know this isn't like a very good tutorial, because to be honest, I kind of only very recently figured out how to like draw clothes, and especially on an iPad, like I'm pretty new to digital art. So tell me if this was helpful, and I am happy to make more tutorials for other things. Like if you want a tutorial for skin, hair, hands, I'm good with whatever. I think it'd be fun to do more. Or if you want a more in-depth tutorial on how to draw clothes or like pants and stuff, I'm also down for that. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.